So I thought when it first came out, I thought it was really neat technology, and it was like, it's kind of gee whiz, that kind of thing. We talked about it here last time. But I actually use it every single day for one thing or another, sending a text message while I'm driving, or just a quick reminder, like you said, remind me when I leave here, whatever. Actually use this. It's kind of fascinating. And the other thing that we didn't talk about, or maybe we did at the last time, was I think the reason that Apple's building in all these fun, quirky things that you can talk to your phone with is so that you'll get used to talking to the device. Right now it's kind of an awkward thing. Hi, phone, how are you? You know, that kind of thing. But now you're asking it questions and it telling you jokes, and it's just getting you accustomed to this interface. So the next version that comes out, it won't scare you.
And that's the technology behind your company too. Imagine the voice. If you're doing analytics on sound, that's exactly where the company comes in. Versus.
So.
You still have to push the button to make Siri work, right?
You do, but if you have Bluetooth, actually you don't. You're right. There's an assistive in the help me out here.
The prefs.
And the preference is it's assistance. I'm going to it now, so I won't.
Accessibility.
Thank you very much for that. You can do it so that when you raise it up to your ear, it comes on.
So if you're not on a call, you raise it up, it'll come. So do you think you're going to get to the point where it's like being on the enterprise and you just say computer and it?
So Mac OS does that already. If you guys are using your Mac, you can go enable like speech recognition and everything, and you can give it a name. By default, it's called computer. And you can say computer, what time is it, and it'll actually talk back to you.
Hell would be proud.
Well, and actually, Mac OS has had that sort of thing at cruder forms for a long, long time.
Even Mac OS 9 was there.
Yeah.
Hell's proud. Hell's smiling from somewhere in hell right now.
But so the funny thing is about that, we've been doing that forever on the Mac platform, and people that need that technology, they're using it, right? So people that maybe can't see, they're blind, or whatever, they can talk to the computer and get feedback and read stuff back. But imagine when Siri lands on your desktop, you can actually start, because it's nuanced. It's nuanced technology, and it actually works. So that's pretty fun.
There is a little personal interest, but it kind of coattails on what you're saying here. Person very close to me is blind, and so when we have to exchange emails and stuff, there's a lot of limitations and stuff. With all this new technology coming out, does the Mac have a better readers out there for people who are blind because of some of the stuff going on, or I'm curious?
Well, a kind of an oblique answer to that. I have a friend who has cerebral palsy, and she has an iPad, and it has revolutionized her life.
How?
Because there's an app that she has for it where with one touch, she has very limited use of her hands and arms and everything. So kind of with one touch of her knuckle or whatever, she can say, "Can you show me where the bathroom is?" And her iPad will say that to the waiter, and it has just completely revolutionized her life.
But that would somebody, I mean, this person's my surrogate father. He has macular degeneration, so if you don't, only vision he has left is right here. And it's like looking through major Coke bottles, beer bottles. But how would that help a blind person? Because what I'm wondering about is, like, if I want to send him a URL or something, or like a scanned document, he can't read it.
Well, the device should read it to him.
What?
The device should read it to him.
Windows isn't. That's why I'm asking about Mac. Mac, so Mac will do that? Even like a PDF or even a...
Yeah.
Can you please send me that information? Because he would jump on.
Apple.
I think it's all just built in. Yeah, it's been doing that for 15 years.
Yeah, it's there.
So encourage them to start looking. Okay.
Take it to the Apple Store and test it out right there.
So one of the cool things that it does too is on the Mac you can do, in the accessibility preferences, you can turn on Zoom. So the whole screen zooms up to like 400 or 500%, and you can actually move around and see
PCs will
everything.
do that too. My grandpa has the same thing. He's using a PC to zoom in, and then he has this other thing that
Windows 7 does that.
I forgot what it's called. That it's like they use it in classrooms to project things.
He's far beyond that. I mean, he's a retired judge. The blindness took him off the bench. So he had the what?
That's got to be painful. You got a career, you love it, you can't do it. Wow.
He's still doing amazing things. If not, I would kick him in the ass. I love him that much.
Can you read break scan documents? or does it have to be like a PDF that's the text is written in?
You know, I'm not sure.
So-
Sure,
It would
but I
probably have to have been
I had a-
OCR'd.
I had a client back in probably 2003 that had much the same issue, and it had no problem.
So the Mac is that much better on this type of stuff than the PC? Okay. I'm gonna, when I talk to him, I'm gonna start doing research for him.
Maybe that's something posted on the Facebook wall so we can remember, and you know, have some consultants in your network, right? You can help them out.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit about his background. He's in charge of the Montfort Executive Professor Program. The person he just took around was the Catch Me If You Can, the guy that Leonardo played. So very cool. He won for the lawyers in here. About 6 years back, he won Judicial Excellence Award winner for a Cobb County Court judge. And he's blind. He was blind. I normally I would laugh a lot at that joke, but that's a little too close to the heart.
Oh, okay.
Very close to the heart. He's been in my life for 20 plus years.
So,
I will. Hey, can I get your card so we can make sure?
let's move on to something less.
Okay, yeah, right now.
What?
How is the voice
You can help me find some of that stuff.
recognition in
I don't
Siri?
care.
Like
It
if
helps
there's an
me.
accent
Thank you
or...
also. He scans it. So,
I used to be a voice synthesizer. What's the weather like?
This is on. Sorry. See, that's the problem. Bluetooth headsets. They work really well when you're trying to use it for that.
What's the weather like outside?
Yeah, so, catch up with me afterwards and I'll let you, like, you can hit the microphone when you're composing an email and dictate to it. You just pronounce all the punctuation, the comma, the period, the new paragraph, all that stuff, so I'm just.
What about the one big brotherish question I had is, you ask it, what's a great Italian restaurant? There's obviously, you know, the potential that the Italian restaurant people have paid Apple.
that's Google. That's Google's problem
Definitely,
too.
yes, it is, but it's Yelp. Yelp is what they use for
Okay.
recommendations. So as much as you can buy Yelp, and that's
Okay.
concern.
But Google does the same thing too. Google just does it more in a way with their backing algorithm. I don't like a lot of things this administration's done, but they've kind of put enough pressure to Google to keep a little bit of that open.
Here's the bigger question. You talk about Big Brother, that's not a Big Brother problem. The Big Brother problem is you've got literally, what, 8 million people now talking to their phone, asking it questions, maybe intimate questions.
Yeah.
Every single one of those questions gets sent to Apple for translation and text. And so think about the database that Apple's accumulating all these conversations that people have.
It's all going formerly.
I forget the name of it, but there's a database that somebody created that's a chat room like that. And this guy basically just started with single questions, and his friends would start asking questions, and it would learn how to respond based on what the question was asked, what you talked about. And so now you can actually go on and have, he said he's had people that have played on there for 27 hours straight having conversations with this thing, and it hasn't missed a beat. Sometimes it has weird answers, but...
That sounds awesome.
Can't tell it's only
There was I want to say it was Radiolab did an episode on it. I'll try to figure it out.
Eliza the
Yep.
psychologist.
Yep.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it started. Yeah, I think it started out with that because what it was is that it's very simple, just question answer, and it actually always asks a question back. Was Eliza. This one is a little bit different. It actually like monitors the conversation itself and will hold conversation with you. So I'll try to figure it out.
Yeah, try to find that, 'cause that sounds really, really cool.
But that's been going on for a while.
Yeah, it's been online since online.
Let's see, I had another thing here. You guys have anything else?
I've got multiplying things on iCloud and calendars. Anyone else like had everything like multiply, or is it just me? Well, I have reminders that have gone forward now. Where
So mine had nothing to do with iCloud. I have dual reminders in the mobile me calendar reminder system.
I never had mobile meetings.
Yeah, so it's not related to iCloud, but I do have the duplicates. And I think that's because I had it syncing with mobile me, and I had a local copy too, so both of them will give me the alerts. I just need to give it a
I'm up to like 4 or 5 though, where you just keep like replicating.
Does it show more than one calendar on your thing? It might have duplicated your calendars.
So while they're figuring that out.
Kind of a similar weird problem. Anybody use Chrome and go to Twitter and have to say deny or accept permissions like 20 times in a row? Anybody have that?
Permissions or insecure content?
No, just like going to Twitter and having to type in my password. It'll say, put up the little message, accept, deny.
I wonder if that is the password reminder feature of the phone. Yeah, they just jacked up.
It could
Chrome's
be.
been
I
having
need to
issues.
reinstall it or get rid of the press or something.
Chrome's been having issues, so they broke apart from Chromium, and now I know that the pre-bundled Flash only works for like a handful of people.
Yeah, it's
That's
crashed
so-
my system left and right.
On Windows and Mac. It's been a nightmare. And then we've been having issues with the Facebook's changed they're moving everybody over to having to use secure URLs for transfer data for all their apps. All apps are required to use HTTPS now, and Chrome does not like it whatsoever.
It's a better use Firefox.
Internet Explorer.
Let me. This is a good conversation too. It's like because this is transversus. What's happening on the browser wars between IE, Firefox, and Chrome? Which one's gaining steam?
Chrome actually is winning.
Yeah, Chrome's #1 browser now. Firefox has dropped. IE's still POS.
Safari's is no, Safari's actually really good.
I switched back to Safari this weekend because Chrome, the whole Flash issues. Every time I open a page, not that I need Flash, but every time I open a page, I get an error that shit's broke.
Says it'll snap.
Yeah.
I'll snap it.
So,
But what's happening on this? Like what's happening on the Android application?
That's a good question. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was gonna segue back to, it's called Cleverbot.
Cleverbot.
And there is an iOS app.
Throw that on the Facebook.
It's going up right now. Sorry about that.
So, browsers.
Yeah.
Who uses what browser on your Android device? Who has Android? Ha! That explains a lot.
No, wait, he raised his hand.
What do you use? What browser do you use? The default one?
I think it's-
use a browser off that.
Nothing? You don't use a browser?
I think it's a pain to use it. I'd rather have a huge screen.
So no use. Do
Yeah.
you use your browser?
I read everything online. Like if I'm waiting, I'm always reading something.
It's a funny question because a lot of people ask what my favorite app is. Safari on my device. Like I use it all the freaking time.
Which I'm curious, where is business? I mean, let's move into the B2B. Where's business going? Is business looking at more the Android devices or the Apple devices?
I don't know.
Android.
Well, they're moving away from BlackBerry. That's
Yeah, we know that for sure.
well, it depends on the context, right? I mean, most companies are entrenched in BlackBerry, obviously dying brand. They are investigating. I know the U.S. government, who is BlackBerry's #1 customer, is moving or investigating into the Android market because it's a lower cost of entry, and they can custom develop secure applications and environments, which is what they need, right?
Yeah, it's the battles between in the corporate markets between dealing with security and dealing with people that just want Apple because it's cool. I mean, I dealt with that for 2 years. It was give me my Apple, give me my iPad, give me my iPhone, and so we did. And we basically didn't give them a lot of functionality. They didn't seem to care. But the direction now is really all about, okay, if we're going to leave BlackBerry, is it an Android device? How secure can we make it? What are the security concerns we need to deal with? What kind of encryption in place is absolutely crucial. But which person you might deploy, half Android, half Apple, depends on what their role is.
Yeah.
My question for that is can you disable the ability to install an app from a URL? As a corporate rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we were
Windows 7,
told.
I'm sure you can.
Hi.
Yeah, we were told that we could, but we've never really figured out how to effectively make that happen.
Because there's your big challenge, right? If you can't turn that off, then the device is inherently insecure.
Yeah.
Somebody can fish you and put the URL and boom, your device is really good.
You're talking about on iOS?
Android.
Android.
So, 'cause
iOS is simple.
On Apple, you have the whole enterprise functionality.
Yep.
If they touch the phone first, you can make it so that can't be turned off. So when I was working at Good Technology, that's what they were working on with the iPhones, was being able to set that up so that it was a security-based functionality. And the only way to get the app off of the phone was to invalidate the original security certificate. And then once you did that, then the app could be deleted because it had opened it up. So they had this whole back and forth process of doing that. So it was actually really interesting. And at that point, you could cause anything to happen from a specific URL that had to match the security certificate that you put on the device originally.
Did you say you were good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the common answer for, well, basically for the Apple platform for corporations. It's install good and then let the user do whatever they want. And then usually, basically as good as that tone is.
So define good. I don't know. It's an app.
You just want to, you can better describe good than I can.
What the actual core app does
Yeah.
over there? Yeah, so, you know BlackBerry's email system?
Yep.
They stole that from Good. And then they paid $250 million because they stole it from Good. It's the same exact model. So all your email gets routed through a secure server, and then your phone securely connects to that server to get everything. They do all the filtering, all the management, everything like that at that level. And they serve up emails to everybody from Congress, or the House of Representatives, to the Army, to big CEOs of companies, things like that. And they make it so that if your device is stagnant for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, you're done. You can't get the emails off of it unless you have the right password. And then they can actually burn all the emails off the phone remotely as well.
Isn't that the piece that BlackBerry's failing at? Is you have to, so you have your enterprise servers in your company, you're routing all your, whether it's Exchange or whatever, and you're sending everything to a third party, and that third party's failing. This is, forget the hardware and stuff. It's, it's not the devices or the hardware. It's, the fact that you're on a third-party server, they're crashing all the time, and I can't get my stuff.
That's why people don't want to use BlackBerry, you're saying?
Yeah, that's pretty much the core issue with BlackBerry is why they're going down is it's unreliable servers because you have to route everything to servers, best server.
Right.
It's going down and not working. And this technology, which is pretty much the same. If I'm in your shoes as a CEO, I don't want to send my data to somebody else. I want to keep it in-house.
Right.
It's much more
I
secure
think
that
hardware's a
way.
big issue though, that's not cool anymore, Like,
Yeah,
you
but
can't-
if you're an employee of a company, I don't care if it's cool. You're going to use whatever I give you.
Well, actually, it depends on what you are.
Well, I mean, there's certain caveats to that, but for the general masses of people that need a mobile device to do a job, if I can get the messages stuff on there, you can do your job.
Can I just add one more element before the fact is people were just bringing their own devices anyways. They're just bringing them and they're using them, and they figure out all kinds of ways to route their email to their home email to put something on.
Yeah, but that's always even if you give somebody an iPhone, there's still going to be that issue,
That
right?
was the big thing with Good. That the reason
Guys,
Good was doing
one conversation, please, James. One conversation. Go.
the Good app, they realized that was happening. And they basically said, well, what we want to do is we want to save companies money by allowing their employees to use their own device, whatever device they want. So now we no longer have to buy 1,500 BlackBerries for people. We just give them this app. We pay for the app and it's done. So they can put it on their Windows Mobile, their Android, they had Symbian, they had iOS. And so then you're done. You do whatever you want. And it's secure, so you don't have to worry about it.
So I had a conversation over the weekend with somebody at a huge mega bank, probably the biggest bank in the world. They were saying they're finally allowing iPhones for people that work there. But you have to sign an agreement with them that they're able to look at all of the data on your phone anytime they want.
Yeah. Well, and Good.
It's funny.
But it's your personal phone. They're not supplying the phone. It's your personal phone. And if you want to use your iPhone on their network and their email system, you can. But you have to be willing to go to that level.
There's two things that coattail on that. There's two things.
Right?
Cisco has the same thing.
Yeah.
Two things that coattail on.
It's with buying a second phone.
Two things that coattail on that. A little bit over 2.5 years ago, when I was over in India, I don't remember right. The Indian government, some of the Saudis, were just going after BlackBerry because it was so secure. It was so locked down. People couldn't break through. So they were literally going to outlaw BlackBerries in India and parts. No, this was, and everybody was like, in India it's like, this is Big Brother, and they got more Big Brother over there than we can ever dream of. So it's like, this has been, I mean, I remember my Indian associates telling that, it's like, hey.
So, you had one more.
Oh, well, that's not to just bring their phone into work, that's if they wanna actually connect to like the Wi-Fi at
Exactly.
a company or
Yeah,
whatnot.
and their email systems, more important.
I work for one of the largest insurance companies in the world. They do that. They monitor every single word that is not correct. Like if we say the word guarantee, they'll pull up my email and give me a call.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
good.
there's
Oh, Air Watch.
they're also monitoring phone calls too. Yeah.
Yes.
I know a company working for it, but they monitor your phone calls too, trust me.
Yes, I know.
By transcript, so they're getting it via email.